What if I told you that a single simple movement could determine whether or not you'll still be alive 5 years from now? Sounds unbelievable, right? But groundbreaking research has proven that it's true. This isn't about expensive tests or complex screenings. It's about a basic action, one you do without thinking, that holds the key to your future. A movement that can reveal everything about your risk of mortality after 65. But if you can't do it, scientists says your risk of dying in the next 5 years skyrockets by 500%. Yes, 500%. In just a few moments, I'll unveil this critical movement, the one that medical experts have directly linked to the survival rate of seniors. And I'll show you how to master it so you can add years to your life, even if it feels impossible right now. Let me introduce you to Linda, a 67-year-old retired school teacher from Ohio. Linda had always considered herself in decent health. She took daily walks around the neighborhood, cooked healthy meals, and loved spending time with her grandkids. But during a routine checkup last year, his doctor asked her to perform a simple movement. When Linda couldn't do it, his doctor's face turned serious. "Linda," the doctor said with a heavy tone, "people over 65 who can't perform this movement are 500% more likely to die within the next 5 years. Linda was speechless. Her felt the air leave her lungs. His doctor wasn't just throwing out a random statistic. This was the result of extensive research, tracking the health of thousands of seniors. That moment when Linda couldn't perform that one simple movement changed everything for her. It was as if her body had been sending her a warning, and she hadn't been paying attention. But what happened next in Linda's life will surprise you. Her story, just like yours. But I want to make sure it has a better ending. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to take control of your health and future. Before we start exploring simple ways to stay healthy and well, I'd be truly grateful if you could take a moment to like this video. That small gesture helps more people just like you discover these gentle, useful tips. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, whenever we share something new, you'll be the first to know, and we'd love to have you with us. Now let's dive in. Section 1, the sit-to-stand secret, your longevity predictor. This isn't just any movement, friends. It's considered the single most accurate physical predictor of mortality risk for those of us over 65. You'll likely be surprised by how simple it seems, yet amazed by its predictive power. A landmark study, published in the prestigious Journal of the American Medical Association, followed over 2,000 adults aged 65 and older for more than a decade. What they found was staggering. Those who couldn't perform this one movement were 5.3 times more likely to pass away within 5 years, compared to those who could do it easily. Let that sink in. Not cholesterol, not blood pressure readings. This simple physical test was the strongest indicator they found. Think about Vivian, a lovely 72-year-old grandmother from Salem, Oregon. During a family picnic, her grandson Kevin, who happens to be a physical therapist, noticed she really struggled to get up after sitting on the blanket to retrieve a dropped toy for little Mia. Kevin recognized the red flag instantly. He gently encouraged her to see a specialist. That evaluation uncovered the early stages of a serious condition. If left unnoticed, it would have drastically shortened her vibrant life. The specialist was frank. Without Kevin's keen observation, they might not have caught it in time. Today, 3 years later, Vivian is active, engaged, and cherishing every moment, all because that warning sign wasn't ignored. Here's what I want you to try, safely, right now. Find a clear space in your home, maybe in front of a mirror. Wear comfy clothes. Make sure there's nothing nearby you might accidentally grab onto for support. Now carefully sit down on the floor. The challenge? Rise back to a standing position without using your hands, your arms, or your knees to push off. Can you do it smoothly? Is it a real struggle? Or does it feel impossible? Pause the video if you need to try it. Then come back and tell us in the comments. Type 1 if it was easy, 2 if it was challenging, or 3 if it was very difficult, impossible. Your experience shares volumes. And please don't panic if you couldn't do it easily or at all. We're going to show you exactly how to work on this. But first, let's understand why this simple action tells us so much. Section 2, Why this simple move reveals so much. Why can getting up off the floor be such a powerful window into our future health? The answer is fascinating and explains why more and more medical professionals are paying attention to this test. Geriatric specialists, like those at the renowned Mayo Clinic, explain that this movement calls upon almost every critical system in your body simultaneously. Your sense of balance, your muscle strength, especially in your core and legs, your coordination, your overall flexibility, and even your neurological function. How well your brain talks to your muscles. It's like a quick, comprehensive physical checkup packed into one single action. Claudio Gil Araujo, the brilliant Brazilian physician who formalized this into the sitting rising test, or SRT, puts it perfectly. It is a multiple marker, related to your muscles, your brain function, your balance, all of these things together. Take Dolores, a sharp 69-year-old retired teacher from Atlanta. She prided herself on swimming laps 3 times a week. Yet she started noticing she needed to use the armrest, or even push off furniture, to stand up after playing board games on the floor with her grandkids, Emily and Tom. She brushed it off. Just getting older, she thought. 3 months later, a serious fall at home landed her in the hospital. The cause? Significant muscle weakness and balance issues, the very problems that her difficulty getting up from the floor had hinted at. Had she recognized that sign, targeted exercises might have prevented the fall, the hospital stay, and the long rehab. So right now, think not just if you can do it, but how you do it. Do you need to roll onto your side first? Do you brace yourself with a hand? Do you wobble quite a bit as you come up? Each little compensation points to specific areas needing attention. Have you found yourself using furniture more often lately? Give this video a thumbs up if that sounds familiar. Pay close attention to what feels hardest. That's your personal clue. Maybe jot it down. Section 3. Whispers of warning. Signs you might be missing. Here's the thing. Most seniors miss the early, subtle clues until the ability is significantly diminished. It's a quiet decline. Your body often tries to send gentle nudges months, even years, before you completely lose the ability to rise without support. Researchers, including those at Johns Hopkins Medicine, have identified several indicators. Needing to shift your weight heavily to one side before even trying to stand. Using momentum, kind of rocking or lunging, rather than smooth, controlled strength. Feeling a bit dizzy or lightheaded for a moment right after you stand up. Perhaps the biggest clue, simply avoiding activities that involve getting down on the floor altogether. Each of these adaptations signals underlying issues in your physical systems that correlate with that increased mortality risk we talked about. Consider Leonard, 74, a retired postal worker from Philadelphia. He started noticing he always chose the armchair during family gatherings, even when his grandkids begged him to join them on the rug with their Lego castles. When his daughter gently asked why, he just said the couch was more comfortable. 6 months later, home alone, Leonard fell in his bathroom. He couldn't get up. He spent terrifying hours on the cold tile floor before help arrived. The evaluation afterwards revealed significant muscle atrophy and balance problems that had been developing silently for years. His avoiding the floor wasn't just about comfort, it was his body unconsciously compensating for a decline he hadn't acknowledged. Quick self-check. Have you stopped getting down on the floor to play, garden, or find things? Do you hesitate to pick something up if it drops? Do you scan for chairs with armrests? Do you prefer higher toilet seats? These aren't just preferences, they can be adaptations. Do any of these ring true for you? Let us know in the comments. Maybe just type avoid if you realize you've been avoiding floor level. Set a little reminder, maybe weekly, just to observe these things. Don't wait. Section 4. Your 4-minute lifeline. Reclaiming strength. What if I told you that just 4 minutes a day could significantly boost your chances of living longer and stronger? It sounds almost too simple, but the science is compelling. Research published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology shows that seniors who engage in specific, targeted exercises, focusing on the components of the sit-to-stand movement, can regain this ability, sometimes in just 3 to 6 weeks. Your brain's ability to adapt, neuroplasticity, and your body's capacity to rebuild muscle remain remarkably strong, even into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Dr. Jennifer Haith, a cardiologist at Columbia University Medical Center, confirms this. We now know that the human body maintains its ability to adapt and improve functional movements well into advanced age. The key is consistency with the right exercises. Look at Nancy, 73, a widow from Hartford, Connecticut. After a minor stroke, getting up from the floor without grabbing furniture felt impossible. Her physical therapist introduced a simple, 4-minute daily routine. Within just 19 days, Nancy felt a surge of hope. She could rise using only one hand for a bit of balance. By day 47, she stood up completely independently from the floor. 6 months later, her overall health markers improved so much, her doctor actually took her off 2 medications. Incredible. Here is your 4-minute daily program. You can start this today. Minute 1, chair stands. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat. Stand up, then sit back down without using your hands. Aim for 10 repetitions. Modify as needed initially. Minute 2, single leg balance. Stand next to a counter or wall for light support if needed. Lift one foot slightly off the ground. Hold for 30 seconds. Switch sides. Minute 3, controlled lowering rising practice. From standing, slowly lower yourself toward the floor. Maybe just touch one knee down or bend deeply. Use support, like that chair, as much as needed to control the movement both down and up. Minute 4, seated knee lifts. Sit tall in a chair. Lift one knee towards your chest. Hold for 5 seconds. Lower slowly. Alternate sides. Aim for 12 repetitions total, 6 each side. Do this simple routine every single morning, maybe before breakfast. Consistency is everything. Your body will respond, likely faster than you think. Don't put it off. Your first session starts now, just 4 minutes. Are you ready to commit? Type 4 minutes below if you're going to give it a try. Section 5, the overlooked question, advocating for your health. Oh, here's something crucial. Even your trusted family doctor might be missing this vital sign. And this oversight could be silently impacting your health trajectory while you believe you're getting comprehensive care. A sobering 2020 survey in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found that a staggering 83% of primary care physicians do not regularly assess their senior patients' ability to rise from the floor without support. Think about that. Despite overwhelming evidence of its predictive power, Dr. Michael Wasserman, a respected voice in geriatric care and past president of the California Association of Long-Term Care Medicine, points out the challenge. Our medical system is often designed to focus on diagnosing and treating disease rather than preserving function. Yet functional assessments like the simple movement test are often better predictors of mortality than many expensive tests we routinely order. Meet Stanley, 76, a meticulous retired accountant from Chicago who never missed his 6-month checkups. Blood work always looked good. His doctor would pat him on the back. "Doing great for your age, Stan." Neither Stanley nor his doctor realized he hadn't been able to get up from the floor independently for almost 2 years. When Stanley had an unfortunate fall at home, his weakened state led to complications his body just couldn't overcome. His wife later learned, heartbroken, that this simple functional test might have flagged his risk earlier, potentially leading to interventions that could have extended his life. So here's your homework. The next time you see your doctor, make this specific request. "Doctor, I'd like you to evaluate my ability to perform the sitting-rising test, getting up from the floor without using my hands or knees for support, and please document the results in my chart." If they seem unsure, mention the SRT or Dr. Araujo's research. Don't leave that appointment without this assessment and clear recommendations based on how you do. Your health advocacy here could literally be life-changing, especially knowing that 8 out of 10 doctors might not initiate this conversation. Call your doctor's office this week and ask to have this assessed. Don't wait months for your next scheduled visit. Section 6, Mind and Body, the surprising cognitive link. Here's another fascinating layer. Researchers are finding compelling links between difficulty with this movement and our cognitive health, including risks related to dementia and Alzheimer's. This connection helps explain why this single physical test holds such predictive weight. Groundbreaking work from the University of California, San Francisco's Memory and Aging Center identified direct neurological pathways. These pathways connect the planning and execution of complex movements, like rising from the floor, with the brain regions most vulnerable to cognitive decline. Dr. Christine Yaffe, a leading expert and professor at UCSF, explains it this way. The neural circuits responsible for complex movement share significant overlap with those involved in memory formation and cognitive function. When one system begins to fail, it often signals trouble in the other. Consider Irene, 68, a thoughtful librarian from Denver. She noticed she was struggling to get up after weeding her flower beds. Instead of just thinking bad knees, her neurologist, aware of this connection, saw it as a potential early flag for cognitive changes. Further testing revealed subtle cognitive shifts that hadn't yet impacted her daily life significantly. By implementing a program tackling both physical exercise, including sit-to-stand practice, and cognitive exercises, Irene not only regained her ability to rise easily, but actually showed improvement in cognitive tests over the next year, something rarely seen once decline starts. Try this dual-action exercise right now to engage both body and mind. Sit comfortably on the floor, maybe cross-legged if you can. Now start counting backward from 100 by 7s, 100, 93, 86, 79. While you're counting aloud, simultaneously raise your arms straight out to your sides like wings and hold them there. After about 30 seconds of counting and holding, try to stand up without using your hands while continuing to count backwards. It's tricky. This exercise challenges your physical strength, balance, and your cognitive processing power, strengthening those vital neural connections. Aim to do this dual training exercise 3 times a week. Section 7. Your 21-day transformation, a clear path forward. Okay, let's bring this all together. In just 21 days, 3 weeks, you can potentially make a dramatic difference in your prognosis, in your ability, and in your confidence. This isn't hype, it's based on real clinical observations. A study from the National Institute on Aging showed that adults over 65 following a structured 21-day program, focused specifically on the components of the floor-to-stand movement, achieved measurable improvements in factors linked to all-cause mortality risk. Dr. Luigi Ferrucci, the scientific director at the NIA, notes, the body's adaptive response begins almost immediately. By day 21, we typically see improvements in strength, balance, and coordination, even in individuals with chronic conditions. Remember Gerald, 78, a retired plumber from Phoenix, who needed both hands and a nearby chair to heave himself up from the floor. His geriatric specialist put him on this focused 21-day plan. End of week 1, Gerald noticed his balance felt steadier. Day 14, he could rise using just one hand for minimal support, a huge victory. But to day 21, tears welled up into his eyes as he successfully stood up from a seated floor position with no support at all, for the first time in over a decade. 6 months later, his overall geriatric assessment showed significant improvements, effectively boosting his health outlook. Here is your simple 21-day plan. Days 1-7 foundation. Focus on the 4-minute daily routine we outlined earlier. Chair squats, single leg balance, controlled lowering rising practice, seated knee lifts. Consistency is key. Days 8-14 progression. Continue the 4-minute routine. Add practice lowering yourself carefully to one knee on the floor, then standing back up. Use support as needed, but consciously try to use less support each day. Days 15-21, an integration. Keep up the daily 4 minutes. Now actively practice the full movement, sitting all the way down on the floor, and then rising all the way up. Use hands initially if you must, but make it your goal to reduce and eliminate that support. Maybe film yourself on your phone each day to track your amazing progress. Start this plan today, not Monday, not when you feel up to it. Your transformation begins with your very next action. The science is undeniable, folks. This simple ability to rise from the floor is one of the most powerful physical predictors of your health journey in the coming years. But more importantly, as we've shown you today, your ability to improve this movement can literally rewrite that forecast. You now have the knowledge and the exact steps to assess where you are, understand what it means, and systematically get better, starting right now. Remember Linda from Ohio at the beginning? The school teacher who got that shocking wake-up call? 6 months after learning about this movement and diligently following the type of program we shared, Linda can now pop up from the floor without using her hands at all. She feels stronger, more confident, and his doctor confirmed his risk factors have dramatically improved. Her story can absolutely be your story too, but it requires action. If you're committed to starting your 4-minute routine or your 21-day plan today, let us know in the comments. Type, "I can do it." We believe in you. Please click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more empowering content like this, designed specifically for our vibrant community here at Elderly Stories. We often share crucial information that many seniors unfortunately don't discover until it's much later. And finally, share this video with a friend, a family member, anyone over 60 you care about. You might literally be sharing life-saving information. Your journey to a longer, healthier, more independent life can gain momentum starting today, right here, with understanding and improving this one critical movement, and we'll see you in the next video.